Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, or at least for this video, I want to talk about Redux Form. I have the splash page pulled up here, and I want you to check this out. It's a very powerful tool that I've discovered, and I want to talk a little bit about why it's so powerful and why I like it so much. So if you think about it, in web development, forms are a major, if not the number one way for a user to submit input into your application. So you need to be very good at form validation and handling, every single edge case. So in my opinion, any help that I can get for that, great. So just to give you an idea of exactly what Redux Form does is it allows you to essentially write a set or perhaps you can call it a suite of tests, validators, if you will. And those are just functions um, that kind of validate what the form input is. And I'll walk you through what some of what some of those are. But first, let me just kind of give you a few different demonstrations here. Let me close DevTools. I don't really want DevTools right now. And this is no bigger than I want it to be. Okay. So where I've used Redux Form everywhere in this app. So just I'd like to demo this with the authentication modal. And some of the stuff that it's doing here, let me actually sign out so I can make this a little bit easier to see. What Redux Form is doing is it's sort of giving the user these nice little messages. Must be a valid email address. And if whatever .com, you can see that the warning goes away. So it's just stuff like that, and you can, I guess you can probably imagine all of the use cases that exist. So another couple examples here are going to be password matching. If you want to check to make sure that the user is entering the same password. So that's some of the stuff that this library does. So with that said, let's take a look at how it's implemented. Over here on the right, you're looking at the component, the React component for my message submission, and that's just this form down here. It isn't very much. It's just a form field, or sorry, a text area, a button, some text, and you can see that here. So basically what's happening is when this button's clicked, we have a function that's invoked from the form on submit, and I want you to know that this .props.handle submit is this is a built-in Redux Form method. So the function that you actually want to handle your event is actually going to be the callback to handle submit. So I want you to be aware of that because looking at this right here could be like a little confusing, right? So let's kind of look at what these functions are. Handle submit is not in here, obviously, but submit message is, and it's just creating the message for me. I don't want to get too much into the nitty gritty on how exactly that's done with Firebase, but just know that submit message is the method or function, whatever, that's responsible for creating this message. So also keep in mind that it is taking an argument there. So this is kind of annoying. I mean, we have a text area. We have a great library that has some wonderful validators, which actually I'll show you right here. It's a file, validators.js, that I'm using, and it's exporting just all of these functions that we're using. This is the email one that I just nervously demoed for you before. And you can just imagine how many different things that you can do for form validation. So so far so good. This is looking pretty good. We have a really nice library that gives us the ability to write our own functions like this, keep them all in one area. But the problem that I have faced personally is, and that I'm kind of surprised by, is enter. When hitting enter, this does not submit the value of the text area. And I might be just completely overlooking, some built-in feature for Redux Form. But regardless, I ended up coming up with my own solution here. So let's get started. I'm going to do some live coding. So what I want now is I'd like to write a method called you know what? Actually, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make a second video out of this. I mean, I don't want to make 10-minute videos here. So let's go to part 2 of this, and we will go from there.